Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the December 11th, 2025 meeting of the Penfield Planning Board. We'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everyone, for coming. Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Hetzke.
Hetzke here.
Burton.
Burton here.
Knauer.
Knauer here.
Tidings.
Tidings here.
Sangster.
Sangster here.
Weissar.
Weissar here.
O'Connor.
O'Connor here.
Prinzing.
Prinzing here.
Ferrigno here.
All right. We have minutes from the November 13th meeting. Hopefully everybody's had an opportunity to review them. Can we entertain a motion to approve?
Tidings, I'll make the motion to approve.
Got a second?
I'll second.
Hetzke.
Hetzke, aye.
Burton.
Burton, aye.
Knauer.
Knauer, aye.
Tidings.
Tidings, aye.
Okay. For those of you who are not used to the way our meetings go, typically from 6:30 to 7, we have a work session where we cover our tabled items and other action items that are on our agenda. And once those tabled items are complete, we'll move directly into the public hearing. Public hearing normally starts at 7, but if we get done with the tabled items, which we most likely will, we'll move directly into the public hearing portion. If for whatever reason we don't get them done by 7, we'll pause that and move directly into the public hearing. So with that, Doug, would you like to go through our tabled items on the agenda?
All right, tabled application number 1 is the Northrop Penfield Solar application. So at the November 13th meeting, the board adopted a negative declaration pursuant to seeker, and requested that staff draft an approval resolution for review at this meeting. You have a draft approval resolution before you for action tonight.
Okay, Bob, this is your application.
Sure.
Excuse me. I apologize for, I don't know, my cough.
So I
Whatever I had.
believe everything's complete. What was discussed through the many months that the board reviewed this project, there were public hearings. The applicant also conducted a number of neighborhood meetings for the folks that their properties were contingent to the projects. And I wanted to ask engineering if they were satisfied, comfortable with the resolution for approval.
Yes, we're satisfied with the resolution for approval. And any minor things can happen during the pre-Mylar or anything's technical in nature, so.
Okay, I think, the number of times that we asked more information of the applicant, there were some issues around buffering that some changes were made a few times to mitigate some of the views of the solar project. There was some concern on the utility tie-in and the number of utility poles that were part of the project. Just because of the nature of the engineering, it's very difficult to have a tie-in without some utility poles. And the applicant went back, and that number was also reduced. It didn't go away completely, but it did help the visual impact on the project. I believe that once the project is constructed, obviously during the construction phase, there may be some noise, some dust, which you're going to get with any construction project. But I truly believe that the project will be a good neighbor. It's totally quiet. It produces no dust, no smells. So given that, unless there's other board members that want to weigh in on this, I would move to approve.
I just got one question.
Sure.
I realized there was some different or new conditions that were talked about or mentioned. And
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like me to go through, so specifically for the Northrop application, we included a condition just for temporary markers to be placed at the limits of the disturbance along the 100-foot wetland buffer, just to ensure that that area is not being disturbed. Most of the conditions that are in our resolution that we would not consider standard or templated are from the Renewable Energy Systems Code. So outlining those, it's prior to the issuance of a building permit, they'll have to provide their final 1 and 3 electrical diagrams showing the photovoltaic system components. The decommissioning plan, operation and maintenance plan will have to be finalized and submitted. And the bond, goes through our bond requirements for the decommissioning plan and a specific provision for notification if owner or operator of the system changes.
Okay.
okay, I'm good then. As long as you guys are good with it.
Okay.
Any comments?
No, so
We
did
need
you,
a second.
I'll second.
Okay.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Burton,
Burton, aye.
Canower,
Canower, aye.
Tidings.
Tidings, aye.
All right, tabled application number 2 is the Penfield's Harris Solar application. Like the Northrop application at the November 13th meeting, the board adopted a negative declaration pursuant to seeker and requested that the staff draft an approval resolution for the board's review.
Yeah, Doug, just to touch on those, any changes or conditions similar to?
Nope, the conditions are very similar. The only one that is different is there is no wetlands on this property, so that wetland condition was not in there.
All right. Yeah, everything else has been covered unless everything's good. All right, I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay. We have a
I'll second.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Burton,
Burton, aye.
Canower,
Canower, aye.
Tidings.
Tidings, aye.
Those are all the work session items I had for the board.
Okay. So as I said at the beginning of the meeting, it's 6:37, 6:38. We'll move directly into the public hearing portion of the meeting. The applicant could come up to one of these 2 tables with your stuff. The way we operate is the applicant will present the application, the project idea, board will ask questions, then we'll open it up to audience participation. If you don't happen to be here in the town hall and you want to make a comment on this, if you're one of our millions of viewers from around the planet on our streaming services, you can call country code number 1, area code 585-340-8771. Alternatively, you can go to the town's website, which I believe is now different.
Correct.
It's penfieldny.gov, and there should be a link to this meeting on the
Right on the homepage
of the website, and you can submit a comment electronically. So Doug, would you please read our public hearing item?
All right, McMahon LaRue Associates, 822 Holt Road, Webster, New York, 14580. On behalf of Matthew and Julie DeRoller, request under Chapter 250, Article 11-11.2 and Article 12-12.2 of the Code of the Town of Penfield for preliminary and final subdivision and site plan approval to subdivide a 6.286 acre parcel into 2 lots at 1320 Harris Road, Webster, New York, 14580. Lot 1 will include the existing dwelling and accessory structures, and Lot 2 will be designed for a new single-family dwelling. The property is now or formerly owned by Matthew and Julie DeRoller and zoned Rural Agricultural, RA2, application 25P-0015, SBL 095.04-2-59.2.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks for that introduction, Doug. My name's Ian Cookman. I'm with McMahon LaRue Associates. And as mentioned, we're proposing a subdivision where we are showing a flag lot, single-family residential dwelling in the rear of the existing 1.5-story dwelling at 1320 Harris Road. In the rear, we've got a couple of site constraints by way of a floodplain, some wetlands, and a woodland EPOD. So as part of this project, which started right before the beginning of the year when they came out with the new wetland regulation, we had to go out there and do a delineation, which we're showing on our site plans, and we're showing our proposed dwelling outside of that 100-foot buffer. So all of our site improvements and grading activity, septic system, everything is outside of that 100-foot buffer that we've delineated per the updated wetland regulation. In addition, we did a tree survey out there to better understand how many trees would be impacted by this development. We are north of 10% impact to the woodland wetland, so we are showing, as part of our PRC review, a reforestation effort of planting 9 new trees, which is based on our math. I'm sure Matt or Doug will help count that for us, but we're willing to make that amendment as needed to meet the woodland permit EPOD requirements. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward, single-family lot subdivision here. The only bonus is a couple of environmental site constraints to the rear of the lot. But throughout this year, I think we've done what we need to do to show no impact to those constraints. Other than that, we did receive PRC comments. We issued a response to comments along with revised site plans this week. We've also submitted this to Monroe County Health Department for septic review, Monroe County Water Authority for water service, and no DOT. Oh, I'm sorry, we did submit to Monroe County DOT. We're on County Road 26, so we have all agency involvement at this point as well. So with that, I'll open it up with any questions the board may have.
Okay. My understanding is we're still waiting for responses from several of the agencies, correct?
So we're still waiting for, since this was on a county road and has wetlands on it, we submitted it for 239M review for the county. We're still waiting back to hear back from the county with their comments on that. Additionally, we'll be requesting, has this been submitted to, or have you done a JD, parcel JD with New York State DEC?
Yeah.
Could you provide the correspondence from that, and have they accepted the wetland delineation? Or issued comments on the wetland delineation?
No.
Okay.
No, but we did submit our delineation report with our resubmittal.
Okay. Yes, I did see that.
The PRC comments that you responded to, I don't have it in front of me. Any concerns with the recall that you had with the PRC comments?
The only thing that we need to address, that I would suggest that maybe we make a condition to an approval, if possible, is we're going to need a pre-existing non-conforming variance to the existing structure. It's just above or ahead of the front setback, so that's the only thing that that we'll still have to address.
Okay. Is that for a shed or something?
The house, right?
The principal structure
Oh, the principal
is
structure, okay.
pre-existing
And you
non-conforming.
got several structures, sheds, or,
Yeah, there's a lot of sheds out there, yep.
and they're going to stay?
What's that?
You anticipate them staying?
Yeah.
Is the deteriorated shed intended to stay on Lot 2? I know it's within the wetland buffer.
We're not aware of any plan to demolish that shed, but if that's something that the board would suggest, then we can certainly consider that.
Is that on the schedule for ZBA?
It is not, as far as I'm aware, correct?
It's actively being prepared for submittal to zoning board, yeah.
I do want to let you know, this wasn't in my PRC comments. I am discussing with the zoning administrator and building inspector about a potential variance for the large storage shed. I believe it may be over the 1% minimum for Lot 1, as Lot 1 would be when subdivided. I think it's compliant now on the overall 6-acre lot, but it may not be compliant. So I'm working with our zoning administrator to determine whether or not that would require a variance. If that would, we could do it as part of the same pre-existing non-conforming.
Gotcha.
Do you mind going through the process for people watching about the woodland EPOD and the things that, as a design firm and engineer, the constraints that are imposed based on the woodland EPOD and how that impacts how you design sites? I know you're putting you on the spot a little bit, but
I like it.
This is in terms of like minimizing disturbance.
yeah, I think that, I personally think that we need to revisit, the town needs to revisit the woodland depot. Because, hey, I planted a whole bunch of trees on this property, and now all of a sudden I screwed myself out of developing it, putting a house up, whatever. It's a to me, it's one of those be careful what you wish for, because law of unintended consequences.
Yeah, so the process...
And I love trees.
Yeah.
For the record, I love trees.
We all do. We all love them, especially in our backyard. So the process for us is we have to go out and survey all the trees that may come close to within our development. And we provide ourselves an additional buffer on top of that because we never know how the design is going to change. So our surveyor has to go out there with some sort of expert that knows how to identify trees, so not just any surveyor, not just some kid off the street, so to speak. So, somebody qualified and somebody with the instrumentation to locate the trees, tag them. So all the trees that we're showing here have numbers associated with them. If you were to go out in the field, all those trees would have that number tagged to the tree as well. So there's quite a bit of manual labor that goes in to the tree survey. We bring the data back, do our design, and then we have to count how many trees we're impacting. We have to go to the Penfield GIS portal and determine how large the woodland EPOD area is. In this case, it was 8 acres. And we're showing a proposed clearing limit on here, so we have to figure out the percentage that clearing limit goes into the woodland EPOD, and that yields us a percentage. And woodland EPOD zoning code says if you're less than 10%, you're good. if you exceed 10%, then you need to do some sort of mitigation effort if it's undeniable that you have to impact it. Now, with a site like this, we have a couple of things. We have a driveway that has to, it's a flag lot, so we have a long driveway that we need to get utilities down. Obviously, the structure itself with some sort of turnaround. And then being rural residential, we also have a septic and leach field. So what we're showing right now is absolute bare minimum to get a lot back there, and we're still in excess of 10%, that 10% threshold. So,
And it affects where on the site you're putting the house and so on, so it might not be the ideal location from a homeowner standpoint, but you're trying to minimize the impacts that you have, right?
Right. And in this case, we're really threading a needle with the additional wetland and floodway constraints on this site. So this is really it. This is the only place we can put the house on this lot.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? No.
You aware of the neighbor sent some correspondence in? Did they provide a copy of the neighbor's concerns about the water runoff?
So we did get 2 questions from one of the neighbors. One was just about, I believe the neighbor to the south has a rock wall on the edge of their property. They just wanted to ensure that that was protected. The other concern was just how water was going to be handled from runoff with the house, which I believe was addressed through directing it north towards the wetland for most of the runoff, and then collecting the runoff on the south into a swale, bringing it down to Harris Road where there is a culvert under the road.
Yeah, there's a cross culvert, so we're not going to block any drainage towards Harris Road. We're going to provide drainage relief. We don't anticipate a tremendous watershed that we're conveying. It's really just to provide that connectivity across the driveway. And then there is a town drainage easement to the rear of the lot, and all of our grading is going to be pushing that drainage as it is today. Just doing it so it doesn't go through our house.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, just to make you aware of that situation, that they sent some concerns in about the drainage next door neighbor. I'm good.
Okay, I'd like to open up to the audience. If there's anyone here that would like to comment on this application, please let me know. Let me see if there's anybody calling in. No calls. No electronic. Any other questions from the board?
Great, Jen.
I had one question. What was the PERC data for the system?
What was it?
The PERC data in the deep hole?
Yeah, what is the question? What about the PERC hole?
What were the results of the
I see.
PERC test?
If you go to sheet number 6,
Okay.
it looked like we had between 1-minute and 5-minute perks, and no mineral deposits, no rock, and no seepage from
Okay.
groundwater witnessed by Monroe County Health Department.
I just wanted to be sure that was it, because it's an awfully fast perk.
Yeah, believe it or not, we had this system in the wetlands initially, not knowing it was wetlands, and they still perked great. So it may be a wetland, but it doesn't feel like a wetland.
Okay. Thank you.
Doesn't look like a wetland either.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your presentation. And there's no other questions or comments. We'll call the hearing closed.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, so we're waiting on some responses.
Yep, so we can't move without the county. The county 239M process has to be complete before the board can take action on the application. So that's probably the biggest thing.
Well, we should probably wait for the DEC to confirm their compliance with the wetland
Yep.
delineation, so. that could change something if they don't agree with it,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah, simple subdivision turned complicated, right? Okay,
All right, make a motion to
table,
I'll second.
tidings.
Hetzke,
Hetzke, aye.
Burton,
Burton, aye.
Canower,
Canower, aye.
Tidings.
Tidings.
Tidings, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all the business I had for the board.
All right, well, for the last time, we will, for me and Jim, we will adjourn. Thank you all for coming, and have a great holiday, and New Year, and good luck.